ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay. So simple verses here, what we saw last time. Okay. So any questions or clarifications? One person had sent me a question which I thought is worth answering it here. He says, there is something called Prayaschitta Karma in the Shastra. I do something wrong, I can correct it by a Prayaschitta. Okay. Making amends, basically. Making amends. Does this give a license to people to keep doing the wrong things and keep doing Prayaschitta? It's a good question because, yeah. Or, if anyway you have to go through karma phala, then why do Prayaschitta at all? Yeah. Now, Prayaschitta karma is a special group of karmas. Okay. There are some general Prayaschitas and there are some special Prayaschitas. Okay. In fact, your everyday chanting of the Gayatri, etc., in a way, is a Prayaschitta karma. Because what is the sankalpa? Mama durita kshayartham. Knowingly, unknowingly, all the wrongs that I have done, all the sins I have incurred, let it be negated by this. This is very generalized. Then things like Shama, Prarthana, etc., that you have when you do a special puja or something, these are all generalized. Now, there are specialized Prayaschitta karma for special things. Some of them so ghoram that you didn't want to do the wrong thing itself in the first place. Like Kumarila Bhatta. Okay. Was a great karmata, great Vaidika, but in the Purva Mimamsa, the karma portion. So Shankara goes looking for him, said we can have a debate and discussion and come to understand that it's that Vedanta gives you moksha, not mere karma. And when Shankara reaches him, he is doing a Prayaschitta karma. Why? What is that Prayaschitta karma? There is a hot plate, okay? Not a hot plate like what you have in your kitchen, a big one, a big tawa, and he is sitting on it. There has been some sawdust, rice husk actually, put on top. He is sitting on it. He is covered up to his neck in rice husk, and there is a fire lit below. So Shankara comes and asks him, what is this great sin that you have done, because of which you are doing this Prayaschitta? So Kumarila Bhatta says, I studied a whole discipline of knowledge from the Buddhists, my Buddhist guru, and then after that I studied by going as a student, otherwise he wouldn't have accepted me and taught me. So I went as a student, but then I abused his giving me this knowledge by defeating him in debate and literally driving him out. That is great Guru Droha. The only prayashita is this. So Shankara says, I was hoping for a debate with you based on what I had written. He says, please let me read that. All the time he's being cooked. Huh? This is slow death. It takes time. But look at the clarity of thinking in those guys. So he reads. The Brahma Sutra is a magnum opus. You can't read it in an hour. But in some time you can read the whole Adhyasa Bhashya. That can be done in, if you know Sanskrit well, few minutes you can read. Adhyasa Bhashya is the introduction to Brahma Sutras. So he reads that and he says, wow. He says, just on your introduction, 10,000 verses has to be written to bring out the profundity of the whole thing. He says, reading this, my mind is clear. I know that moksha is by jnanam alone. So Shankara says, then shall I put out the fire with the water from my kamandalu? So Kumarala Bhatta thinks of it and says, let it be. All my life I have lived and died like this. Let me die like this. It's okay. But you go and debate with my student Mandana Mishra and win him over to the Advaita standpoint, there will be a great benefit for the society. So he goes and there is an elaborate debate which starts with fun, a fun debate. Starts with some pulling each other's legs and all that thing. Yeah. Like Mandana Mishra asks him, Kuto Mundin. Kuto Mundin can mean from where have you come? It can also mean how much have you shaved? So Shankara joke puns on it and says, Agriva, only up to my neck, not below. So like that the debate starts, okay? With Mandana Mishra's wife Ubhaya Bharati being the referee for the debate. Look at the trust scholars enjoyed in those days, that I am trusting my opponent's wife to stand as a referee for a debate with me. So anyway, that's a different thing. So coming back to the prayaschitta karma. So some are such ghora prayaschitas that you wouldn't want to do the wrong in the first place. Now look at it. As a Vaidika, as a person living with Vedic wisdom, you are supposed to live a dharmic life. That is common ground. Whether you are pursuing artha, kama or moksha, dharma was the base. But we are human beings. We are human beings. There will be times when we will not follow dharma. Either inadvertently or because our desires are strong. Kya karu? Like this is my nephew once came up with one of his own quips, Says, masjid mein baith kar Quran padhta hu, मंदिर में बैठ के गीता, लेकिन क्या करूं इंसान हूं इसलिए थोड़ा पाप भी कर लेता हूं. The idea is that you are a human being, Baba. You will make mistakes. You will make. Your humanness will drive you to the mistake. Just your sheer humanness. I mean, is there a single person of us who can say we have not done an adharmic act in our lives? I can't. Okay, I'll put up my answer. We have done enough and more. Okay. So, given that, should you be living in guilt? because you're committed to dharma. The problem of being committed to dharma is that guilt will be there. Because that's a warning sign you are going off your track. Therefore, the prayaschitta karma is given to knock off that. To knock off that. So that the guilt etc. is not there. Plus the negative karma, the karma phala is also not, you don't get it fully. Some percentage you may still get, okay? It's like falling ill and going to a doctor. Some of it you have to suffer, some of it you'll be okay. Yeah. So same way prayaschitta karma also. Because sometimes we have done wrong, we don't, in a previous lifetime we don't even know what wrong we have done. All of us who has an afflicted guru in our horoscope, not the guru is afflicted with a problem. Okay, no. In your horoscope, if you have an afflicted guru, not a weak guru, an afflicted guru, should understand that there is some papa karma in the past life, not this life, past life. Yeah. Now, what is it? What can you do about it? Speak to an astrologer, okay, like Ravindra Bhatt or someone. He will guide you on that. Guide you on that. Okay. That is not my area of specialization. Okay. My area of specialization is to be free from all karmas. Yeah. So that you don't need punya karma, papa karma, dharma karma, adharma karma, any karma you don't need. You are akarta, abhokta, free from the whole issue. That is the thing. Okay. Now keeping that in mind, Krishna goes ahead. Okay. Because whether it is papa karma or anything else, why is our mind not fully committed to moksha? Okay. Why is it not fully committed to moksha? Because of our belief system that happiness is out there. That I am not Ananda. I will become Ananda if I get this, if I get that, if I get that. Ananda or Anandi, doesn't matter. Okay. I will become a joyful person only if I get all these things. And your experience shows that some of them, when you get, you do become Ananda for some time. Okay. See, some things you know, they are a problem anyway. We know that. Very clear. These are problematic things. You will avoid it. If potassium cyanide was to taste like chocolate, even then will anyone eat it? Or like a laddu? Nobody will eat it. Because you know it's... So that is very clear cut. Very clear cut. But a chocolate or a laddu... मजा आता है यार खाने में. It's fun to eat. It gives you joy. That means your subconscious belief system that Ananda comes from outside is strengthened. If you are enjoying them without that belief system, then no problems. Therefore, in the light of the fact of your belief system, Krishna says the next verse, Ye hi samsarshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. He says, Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga. Those bhogas that you gain joy from because of an experiential thing. Okay? It can be from small thing like eating a chocolate or a laddu to something big like a relationship or whatever. He says, Dukkha yonaya evate, he says. It's a very strong Since they are nothing but dukkha yonis. Finally, it'll all end up in dukkha. I know every married person feels like that sometime or the other. Not always. Once in a way you feel like that. I know. I wish I never got married. होता है. That is life. Okay. If a relationship or moksha, there will be no need for the Gita. Okay. Therefore, these feelings will be there once in a way, and they are pointers. That they are meant for a purpose. Okay. A relationship is meant for physical and emotional companionship. If along with that you can get some intellectual stimulation, great. You have a great relationship. But don't expect to be happily married ever after. That's a fairy tale. And those fairy tales as children we have read, they are important. Why? Otherwise nobody will get married. And I am interested in people getting married, okay? I am interested in that. Why? I have one more house now to go and say, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. Okay, jokes apart. He says, there will be times like that in the best of things. What does that show? That even though they may not be, on the whole, they may not be dukkha yonis, that your greatest joys are touched with sorrow. You know, it's like you have a nice painted house, there is one slash here or there, thoda. The painting has gone haywire. Yeah, thoda ek slash maar diya. Little bit. And he says, Adyantavanta Kaunteya. They have a beginning, they have an end. They have a beginning, they have an end. That's why sometimes I think the Christian wedding vows are very pragmatic. Until death do us part, okay? Until death do us part, we know. Itna hi hota hai. After that we go our separate ways, we don't know. No, Swamiji, in Hindu thinking, 7 janam ke liye. Are you sure? You want 7 janam ke liye? I mean, are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, be careful because the choices made may have been different, The prarabdha coming out may be different. Supposing your growth is in with somebody else or with no one for a change. Because every lifetime I'm sure we had partners. Because human beings find being alone difficult. And being too much with some people also claustrophobic, isn't it? That's one lesson from the pandemic. Ask all the ladies who are complaining their husbands were not spending enough time with them. What do they feel now? No, the idea is simple. Adyanta-vantaha. They have a beginning, they have an end. We look before and after and pine for what is not. Our sweetest songs with some pain is fraught. Shelley, Skylark. Okay. Which is true. Isn't that human life about? Therefore, na teshu ramate buddha. The wise do not revel in them. Then where do the wise revel? Atmanande. But Swamiji, I'm in a great relationship. My marriage is great. I have a great partner. I have great kids. Yeah, sometimes I do get a bit cheesed off with the whole thing, but on the whole, 90% is fine. 90% is fine. Wow. I'm impressed. That means what? It strengthens your belief system that Ananda comes from outside. Therefore, recognize this fact that all Ananda that you experience in life is the manifestation of the Ananda that you are. That you love the other person only because in the presence of the other person, the Ananda that you are is manifesting. Take any person you love, you will find this fact. In fact, even your Archie's cards know these. I love you not only because of what you are, but because of what I am in your presence. Great cards. All these cards I have seen in my younger days, but I am sure these cards are still available. I have seen more than 30 years ago all these cards. Okay, but I am sure even now they are all available. Yeah. But that means what? Where, if anything or a person helps you manifest the Ananda that you are, you will start liking it, loving it. Therefore, if you are Ananda, then what happens? If you know you are Ananda anywhere. Good marriage, good relationship, bad relationship, you are still Ananda. That's a great, even better way to be, isn't it? You can enjoy a great relationship where Ananda is manifest, or Ananda is simply sitting inside, quiet, nice. Relationship, it's okay. If I am Ananda, I can afford a bad relationship. Yeah. If you are Ananda, you have to run away from a bad relationship. You are Ananda. Yeah. If you are Ananda, you can accept an insufferable fool also. Where is the problem? You are Ananda, it's not affecting your Ananda anyway. It's only you have to take care of your functioning a little bit. Yeah. That's all. Therefore, the wise will revel only in Ananda. The otherwise will revel in things that they think will give them Ananda. And this keeps changing, I am telling you. What you think will give you Ananda keeps changing. It's never the same. Take your photographs 20 years ago. Will you wear the same clothes again that you see in that photograph? The same hairstyles. Oh my God, I look like this. Things change. Things change. They always will. Your taste in music, your taste in clothes, your taste in food habits, eating habits. When my cousin first came from Kerala to Bombay, I said, let him give him something. This is about 35 years ago, 40 years ago. I think I just started teaching in Bombay. So yeah, 85. So I said, let him take me out for a treat. Bombay का special क्या है? He was asking. I said, Belpuri खाएगा? Bombay special? He didn't like it. But then 2-3 people खिलाओ him Belpuri. Now he loves Belpuri. Now I don't care for it. He loves it. Yeah. Somebody, after eating Amul cheese, they said, I love cheese. This was when I was traveling, when I was sailing in my working life. So I gave him some nice Gouda cheese. It was very young cheese when I bought it. Because from Rotterdam we were supposed to come back to Bombay. But then mid-seas we got diverted to Rio across the ocean. So the cheese, by the time it came from young, it became very mature. Not yet old, but mature. Because I had managed to keep it in the fridge. Why? Because as junior engineers, we are in charge of seeing that the fridge is working properly. So certain advantage we could take and see that it is kept safe. But still it matured out. And then the guys who were swearing by cheese couldn't eat it. Why? Because these are many of our desires and what we enjoy are cultivated. Culturally, value based. When Chinese food first started coming into India, everyone wants Chinese. Chinese. Even now, the most popular street food after Vada Pav is Chinese. Take a walk around Chambu Station, that whole area, Gondi Road, you will know. This is how you learn from society. Chinese is the most popular. But it Indianized Chinese. You eat the same food in China, nobody will like it. All cultivated tastes. All tastes are cultivated. Depending upon your culture, your value base, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, what you think is giving you ananda is a sheer value judgment that you have made. Because of your exposure. Like people expect me to have very sophisticated tastes. I do. When it comes to chocolates, etc., I will eat a chocolate and tell you what chocolate it is. Whether it is Lindt or Godiva or Amul, I'll tell you. So they expect my taste in sweets also will be like that. Indian sweets. Samji, among Indian sweets, what do you like? Jalebi, balushai. Why? Because it was developed in Rishikesh. All the bandaras that I've eaten. As South Indians, how often do you eat sweets? Only on occasion. No? Sweet is not a form of everyday meal for a South Indian. For a Gujarati it is, yeah. So Rishikesh, every 8 days, every 15 days, there is a bandara. Where half a dozen jalebis are put into your plate first serving. Followed with multiple servings. So the taste you develop is like that. So all rustic taste. Balushai, who enjoys balushai? Covered with sugar. What I'm trying to say is, all things that you would say gives you ananda is purely cultivated. Culturally, value judgment, this, that. Social structures. There is no real thing that gives you ananda. If you knock off these, your samskaras, your value judgments, your this, then what is there? It is sweet. That's all. It is salty. That's all. Nothing more. So similarly, a lot of things that you think will give us ananda depends purely on your value structure, what you have decided. Therefore, he says, all things that give you joy is only helping you because of your value structure. manifest the Ananda that you are. You think a piece of jalebi is a happy experience. So when you eat it, that projecting mind, Ananda that you are manifests. That's all that happens. That's all that happens. Whereas somebody else, looking at that same jalebi, it's too sweet. It's so sweet. You wanted a sweet, now? What do you mean too sweet? But I can understand. Somebody feels it is too sweet. Yeah. Therefore, it's always a relative thing. Yeah. Because that person is afraid of putting too much sugar into the system. It's healthy not to put too much sugar in the system. Nobody is questioning that. It's healthy not to put too much of sugar. That's a good thing. Because if you look at all our dietary patterns, the one thing that has changed over the years is more and more consumption of sugar. Therefore, part of the lifestyle issues, that is an issue. Therefore, it's healthy to limit that. I accept that. But not to be afraid of sugar, okay? That's equally problematic. Food is not your enemy. Therefore, he says, all bhogas. Dukkha yonaya adyantavantaha. Therefore, Buddha na ramate teshu. No wise person will revel in that. To revel is to say, Are yaar maja aaya, come on. Or little. You want a good example of this? Go to a party. They open a fresh bottle. And there are 3-4 people who enjoy that. Are yaar, aaj ye khatam kar dega. That is called to revel in it. You all know what I'm speaking about, I'm sure. Okay. To revel in it, okay. Okay. Then Krishna makes concluding the whole thing, Krishna makes a great statement here. Okay, a very, very powerful statement he makes here. Shaknoti iheva yas sodum prak sharira vimokshana kama krododbhavam vegam sayuktaha sasukhi naraha. Iheva yas sodum shaknoti. Iheva, here itself. One who is capable of giving up. Giving up what? And ihaiva meaning prak sharira vimokshanat. Before you give up your body, what is that? Kama krododbhavam vegam. The push that you are getting from kama and krodha. Remember one thing. It is good for a person to have a drive. But if the drive is coming from your kama and krodha, then you have to check up, are you being driven or do you have the drive? If you are being driven, then you are a bullock. A bullock in a bullock cart, you are being driven, chabuk mar de. Kama, one kama stroke, one krodha stroke, come on. Whereas if you have the drive in your hands, you are the master. You are the Ratha Swami, not that horse or that bullock that is being driven. Okay? Therefore, here itself, in this life itself, if you can grow out of this vegam, that drive, that passion, okay? Sayuktaha. He is a yogi indeed, he says. He is a yogi. Doesn't matter whether he cannot touch his toes. Doesn't matter whether he cannot sit in Padmasana. He is a yogi, all right. Okay. Sa sukhi naraha. That person is sukhi. Why? He has the drive, but he is not being driven. And if he has the drive and he is not being driven, according to, then deeper priorities will emerge from his mind. Moksha will become the goal, one of the ultimate goals in his life. And if he fulfills that, he is Anandoham. That person is Anandoham. Sukhi naraha. Completely, without any issue. Effortlessly you get the thing. Yeah. Therefore, what matters is management of your likes and dislikes. Not to be under the hold of your likes and dislikes. That you have likes and dislikes is okay. You have desires, you are human, Baba. Of course you will have desires. You are a human being. As I always say, a cow does not get up in the morning and decides whether it is going to have a cutlet for breakfast or an omelette for breakfast. Cow can't decide that. It doesn't have desires. But you and I can. You and I can. So to desire is a privilege of a human being. To be able to desire is a privilege. But we become victimized by our own privilege. We become victimized by our own privilege. That is the problem. I mean, to be able to desire is a privilege. Only human beings have that. In the animal kingdom, it's all programmed, instinctive. Human beings have the freedom to desire. But if you are going to be victimized by it, then you are the same level as the animal, because he is instinctively controlled. He doesn't have freedom. Whereas I am supposed to have the freedom. Yeah, so that is the important thing. Therefore, now how do you do that? There is where Karma Yoga Buddhi comes in. Some desires, if they are not healthy, so a healthy desire, what's wrong in fulfilling it? You have a desire to exercise and keep fit. Great desire. Please fulfill it. If you have an unhealthy desire, you don't have a sweet tooth, you have 32 sweet teeth, for example. Then, okay, if you have a sweet tooth, then by some vichara, by some thinking, you can keep it under limit. Because you can tell yourself, see, I have a sweet tooth, I enjoy sweets. But sweets are meant for the tongue, it is not meant for the stomach. Gujaratis take note. Yeah, a sweet is meant to be part of your diet. According to Ayurveda, Pancharasas, okay, sweet is meant to be part of your diet. But sweet and salt, your adrak, etc., are condiments to be taken in small doses. Achar, small doses. You won't serve achar as though you serve vegetables, do you? Some people do. Not meant to be. Not meant to be. So, if you tell yourself that, no problems. But supposing the desire is stronger than that you feel very helpless. Like that Lay's ad, nobody can eat just one. If my mind is like that, they say nobody. Then the whole question of Karma Yoga Buddhi comes in. I have to prioritize, see my health, see where the desire fits into my priorities, see how some of it I will have to fulfill, and with Ishwararpanam Prasada Buddhi, so make a decision. When you get a packet of sweets, You will not eat it unless you have first offered it to the Lord. But I got in the evening, my puja is over. Wait for tomorrow to offer it to the Lord. And then take it as prasad. And it is prasad, so give it around also. So this is all Karma Yoga Buddhi coming in, isn't it? So by doing that, you grow out of that need. The desire will still be there. You will love sweets until your dying day. No doubt about that. But you are no more driven by it. No more driven by it. Sometimes when I give personal examples, I think I am making a mistake. There's half a dozen bars of chocolate lying in my fridge. Oh, Diwali, people have said, Yeah. And sometimes I can hear them also. Them calling out to me. I say, shut up, sit down, I'm busy with other things. That is what Karma Yoga Buddhi can give it to you. Okay? That ability to be able to handle it. Yeah. Like last weekend, last Friday, I think it was. Thursday. Sraboni and her mother decided to cook and give me a meal. So when I saw that meal, I rang up my maid, said, don't come for 2 days. Yes, my precious, correct? And the rasgullas lasted for 5 days. What I am trying to say is, have that discipline. Okay, that is what Krishna mentions here. Okay, Krishna mentions Kama Krodod Bhavam Vegam Sa Yuktaha Sa Sukhi Naraha. That person will be happy. That person will be happy. Then when will you be completely free from the whole thing? Very easy. Very easy. Ye antasukha antaramaha antastanta jyotireva yaha sa yogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhutaha adhigacchati. Yo antasukha, one who finds oneself as Ananda. That's with the strength of the teaching, okay? With the teaching, with the unfoldment of the truth, one finds oneself as Ananda. Antaramaha, then you revel in what? Ananda only, or kidhar revel karega? Outside, inside is all Ananda only. Antaramaha. Tata antarjyotireva che. Okay. Your whole mind is awake to the self-knowledge. Antarjyoti means this, that your whole mind is awake to the self-knowledge. Antarjyotireva cha. Sa yogi, that yogi. Because without being a karma yogi, prasada buddhi, ishvara arpanam, etc., you are not going to get there. Sa yogi, brahma nirvanam, the nirvanam that is known as Brahman, of being nothing but Brahman, Brahma bhutaha adhigacchati. Brahma bhutaha adhigacchati. Of course, Brahma nirvanam you will not get without Brahma jnanam. Okay? The nirvana, why was there many other nirvanas? There are many other concepts of nirvana. Okay? Every religion has its own concept. Including one religion which says there are 72 virgins waiting for you. If you die killing half a dozen of the enemy, even though they are unarmed, then there are half a dozen waiting for you. Different concepts are there. But any idea of moksha, of nirvana, where you enter, which is a space, which is a dimension, where you enter on the basis of what you do, will be adyantavantaha. Will have a beginning and end. even though you say it is eternal, cannot be eternal. It's illogical. But Swamiji, Shastra is beyond logic. I accept Shastra is beyond logic. If you say there is a heaven and somebody else says there is no heaven, there is no logic to prove either. That is beyond logic. Heaven is an idea which is beyond logic. But when you start describing that heaven and you are making illogical commitments, like I say, how do you go to heaven, I ask? On the basis of the good deeds that you have done. Understandable. Your definition of good, okay? That also changes. That also changes. Anyway, and you will be eternally there. That sounds illogical. Why? Because you have done good. That good karma is finite. Because it was done at a given time and a given place. Therefore, the result you get for it also has to be finite. Therefore, finite karma cannot give you infinite result. That's illogical. That is not beyond logic. All illogical statements are within logic. That there is a heaven can be beyond logic. Accepted. Yeah. Therefore, this is where the whole thing comes. People become, believers when it comes to religion, no questioning, which is the unfortunate part. Whereas Krishna in the Gita says that, Pariprashnena sevaya, do a lot of seva to the Guru by asking him a lot of questions. Yeah, because you are supposed to learn from a Guru. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, Brahma Nirvanam, there is a moksha or nirvana cannot be called moksha unless it is limitlessness. The limitless cannot be gained by action because all action is finite. And if there is something limitless, it's unconditioned by time and space. Therefore, it should be right now, right here. Like limitless space. The kid comes and asks me, Swamiji, Uncle Swami Uncle, what is space? Out there yonder where all the sun and the moon and the galaxies are, that beta is space. When I grow big, I will become a pilot and I will go in a rocket and see space. The kid is not wrong. I have been the idiot. By trying to explain the kid that space is out there. Yeah, I should have said that is also space. When you feel hungry, what is there in your stomach is also space. And if any adult is listening and he is not understanding that, there is more space here than necessary. Yeah. I have to explain the transcendental nature of the limitlessness as well as the immanent nature of the limitlessness. Therefore, the limitless is beyond everything, it is in and everything, in and through everything. Only then it can be limitless. Therefore, really speaking, I am the limitless. I can't be part of the limitless because then me multiplied by a billion things should be limitless. Which is not true, it's a finite number. Big number but still finite. Therefore, the limitless cannot be gained by action, it can be gained only by knowledge. Therefore, Brahma Nirvanam, to recognize Brahman is to be Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmaeva Bhavati, Upanishadic statement. The knower of Brahman is Brahman. The many areas you will find the translation, the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. That translation is guided by that guy's philosophy. Bhavati is third person singular. Of bhava to be. Third person singular is. Therefore, the knower of Brahman is Brahman. That's why thoda Sanskrit knowledge helps you. You won't make mistakes like this. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who knows Brahman is Brahman. What do you have to do? Become Brahman. Yes, Swamiji, that's good, true. But after having known Brahman, what should I do to become Brahman? Really? The Khichdi logic is coming here also. What is this Khichdi logic? You know how to make Khichdi. You got the knowledge. Will that give you Khichdi for dinner? No, you have to make it. Na? So the same logic is being applied to Brahman. After knowing Brahman, what should I do? The great advice is given to the knowers of truth by one of the rishis. Murkhavat acharet. Live like the other fools in the society. Meaning, don't take yourself too seriously, okay? I know Brahman, no. Main bada Mahatma hu. Okay, we know. Okay. You are Brahman, and what about others? They are also Brahman. How can I teach you a Brahman if I think you all are not Brahman? How can I teach you a Brahman? If I don't think I have to see you all as Brahman for me to be able to unfold your Brahman. Otherwise, how can I unfold? I can't do that. I can't be thinking, ये सब मूर्ख लोग बैठा है, and then expect to unfold Brahman. How can you do that? I can't do that. Unless I am the fool. Why? I am expecting fools to understand Brahman. I mean, come on. They are not fools, you are the fool. Therefore, Brahma Nirvanam is by Jnanam eva. Ready for one more verse? Or want to call it a day? One more verse? Okay, 5 minutes. Labante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayah Kshina Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaida Yatatmana Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Labante Brahma Nirvanam. Who gains this knowledge? Who gains this Nirvanam known as Brahman? Kshina Kalmashaha. All whose kleshas, all types of impurities, Raga, Dvesha, etc., all of them, by Karma Yoga Buddhya, negated. Until the only Ajnanam, only klesha left behind, only Kalmasha left behind is Ajnanam, ignorance. That is negated by knowledge. Therefore, Chinna Dvaida, free from all duality. Free from all duality meaning free from any sense of limitation. Any sense of limitation. Yatatmanaha, who have gained a great degree of self-mastery. This is before you gain the knowledge, okay? Those who have gained that self-mastery. Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. How do they live? How do they live? Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. They revel for the good of all beings. In what will give good to all beings. Hitam. What is hitam for that? They revel in that. So what is the greatest good that can happen to anyone? Moksha. Therefore, most of them you will find teaching. Why Sarva Bhuta Hiterata? Because for other things, other people are available. Na? Some you are not well. Doctor, psychologically I am not well. Psychologist is there. After being well under a psychologist, if you want something more, then come to me. Then, money, etc., other people are available. What is it that you can deliver? Atma Jnanam and the means to gain Atma Jnanam. That only the traditional teacher can deliver. Therefore, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. This is how you live. Once you, who lives? All of you, okay? Once you gain the knowledge. You can continue with your families, looking after your kids and things like that. That's not a problem. All our rishis were happily married people. Which rishi was not married? Is any rishi not married? No. I think all of them were married. Yeah. All of them were. So that's not a problem. Yeah. It was good teamwork, because they ran the Gurukulas. What a system of education. The rishis, the wise people are running the Gurukulas. The education is the best of hands, because you are just developing the child, unfolding the child and the skills and the development, not a regimented system with a huge variety of things what to study or not. Yeah. True. Anyway, there's a culture at one time. Not that some of it cannot be brought back, but whatever. It will take time. Okay. Therefore, now we supplement other education by this. Somebody said, does Kalmasha mean Klesha? Yes, Kalmasha means Klesha. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, good place to stop. Okay. Then he is explaining the same with respect to two different lifestyles. You remember the two different lifestyles? Karma Yoga and Sannyasa. That we'll see next class onwards. Okay. Sorry, got delayed because of the problem. And one thing. Next Saturday, no class. Why? Vedic Wisdom Festival is on, so register for it. I know, because you all are at home, other work may be there, you may not be able to gain everything. But that's okay, register and get what you can. Yeah, get what you can. Okay, good place to solve. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much. Thank you.